I was on the balcony, light switched off, and had lit myself a candle. I had had a big argument with the others. I felt hard done by them. I was seething, and my heart was burning. I had lost all my hope. Why were they doing this to me? Suddenly he appeared at the door, and he said, "Nobody understands me," imitating what I was feeling. It was my father. He was smiling with compassion, and he was saying what was in my mind. The pain in my heart disappeared, and I started to laugh. He gave me a big strong bear hug with his strong fatherly arms, and talked to me until all my sadness disappeared. I will never forget that special moment. This was my father, funny, compassionate, full of love. Nobody understood me like he did. At the same time, I guess nobody understood him like I did. Maybe for that reason we had this special bond. It's all about being real and sincere. At that time, I wasn't aware that one day I would not experience that feeling of love and trust for the rest of my life. Dear Father, after you had gone, nothing was the same for me. I guess your absence is one of the hardest feelings in my life. You, who loved me unconditionally, are not here anymore. When I'm longing to see you again, I look at the mirror and I remind myself that I'm actually half of you. Aren't I? Ever since I was born, I have never really understood the inevitability of death. But now I know. One day I will die. I feel it more strongly now. This face, these arms, hands, legs, ears, head, this body does not belong to me. I borrowed it from nature, and one day I will give it back. Dear Father, since you passed away, all the arguments and conflicts are still happening. Nobody took a lesson from your passing away. Selfishness, egoism are still at maximum level. I guess nobody knows that one day they will die as well. In Turkey and all over the world, wars are still happening. There are dirty games that my mind wouldn't understand nor accept. I don't know which news is real, but there is one thing that I'm sure of. People are dying for nothing. After you left, Father, the players have changed. America has a new president. He is the first black American president. He promised to change everything. In Turkey, the situations have worsened. The powers that be continue to sell our country. They control the media, justice, education, and almost the army. They censored the internet and took our right to reach the information. What kind of a democracy and freedom is that? They changed the profile of Turkey. Women are more Muslim now. Apparently, they cover their head by their own will. Who believes that? The religious headscarf is a political symbol now. They have divided Turkey in two extreme parts. One is covered, the other is not. And I guess this division will continue to increase. Do you think I should have a baby? How can I promise that I can defend him or her? Dear Father, when I was a child, I asked you where our family came from. You answered me, we are Yugoslavian, but originated from Albania. After the division of Yugoslavia, we were Albanian living in Macedonia. My mother is Bosnian, and I grew up with the identity of being former Yugoslavian, Albanian, Macedonian, Bosnian, and Turkish. Well, I have a news for you, Father. I am also British now. After you left us, Father, I married with the guy you already met before, Steve. I remember when you saw him at first and understood that he's English, you said in a humoristic way, "Liriya, don't make your old father travel to the distant cold countries. You know, I don't like to fly, and moreover, I hate cold." Even though the distance was very far, you seriously considered driving from Turkey to England to visit me. A very long and arduous journey by car. I didn't have any doubt in my mind. You really would if you hadn't passed away. Dear Father, arriving here in England was a dramatical change in my life. It wasn't easy. I had to take a visitor visa, later spouse visa, then resident visa, and after 3 years they accepted me as their citizen. I had to take a test called The Life in the UK. They wanted to make sure that I knew their language and their culture. I had to swear to Queen Elizabeth that I will be loyal to Her Majesty. When the ceremony finished, I told to Steve in a humoristic way, "Call me British, my love." He took this seriously and said, "No, you are not." The further the distance between countries is, the more the cultural differences are. It was really funny for me to get used to driving on the other side of the road. I have lost count of how many times I have walked to the wrong side of the car to get in. I had to take another driving test, even though I had been driving for 10 years in Turkey. Here there are so many different regional accents. At the beginning and also sometimes now, it is very difficult for me to understand people. From my house in the Wirral to Liverpool, the distance is 15 minutes by car, but they both have different accents. This is very interesting to me. It's nothing to do with the English that I learned at school. It's like a language that I have never heard before. Of course I got used to it. I understand people more now. One of the best qualities in people here is that they are really kind. They know that saying sorry doesn't cost anything. The English people are sometimes perceived as being cold, but I disagree. The only cold thing here is the weather. As a Mediterranean-blooded person, I feel that here there is not 4, but 2¼ seasons. Winter, spring, and 1 week of summer. We have used our barbecue roughly about 6 times in 6 years. Another thing that took my attention was the packaging and card shops. The packaging of products are huge. I can't even imagine how much plastic is consumed in this country. Their custom of greeting cards is very nice, but sometimes makes me laugh. Birthday cards, get well soon cards, congrats for your new job cards, new baby cards, Christmas cards, congrats on your engagement cards, thank you for calling me cards, thank you for your thank you cards. Yes, the last 2 I made up, but it's actually possible. They could soon produce them. Dear Father, since you have gone, nothing has changed, except the technology and the players, as nothing has changed since you have born in 1946. Sometimes I ask to myself, is that it? You came, you lived, you gone. I came, I live, I'll go. I wonder if one day will I be able to see you again. Is there a there, really? If there is, I can picture you near a nicely prepared big table, full of Yugoslavian and Turkish food, with a big bottle of rakı or šljivovica, with all your friends, telling them funny stories, singing Macedonian songs, and enjoying yourself. My dear lovely Father, if there is a there, sooner or later I will be with you. I love you, Father.
Ja sam ja, Jeremija, prezivam se Krstić. Ja sam ja, Jeremija, prezivam se Krstić. Selo mi je Toponica, drvena mi dvokolica. Služio sam stari kadar, artiljerija. More, selo mi je Toponica,